In a quiet, sprawling farmland, there lived a young girl. Though the fields around her bloomed with life, her own days were shadowed by the cold indifference of her adoptive father. He was a harsh, aggressive man who neither nurtured nor cherished her. One morning, the girl was sent to fetch water from the old stone well. As she lowered the bucket, something glinted in the depths below, catching her eye. Curious, she leaned closer, gazing at the shimmer. Her father, watching from afar, noticed her distraction and stormed over. Seeing the sparkle at the bottom of the well, he ordered her to descend and retrieve it. Obedient but wary, the girl climbed down, heart racing. At the bottom, she discovered the source of the shine, a jade bracelet, its green hue radiant even in the dim light. Her father bellowed above, demanding she place it in the bucket so he could haul it up. But the girl hesitated. She knew the man's greed and cruelty too well. If she handed him the bracelet, he might abandon her down there. Her fears were not unfounded. Days passed, and her father, growing impatient, tried to descend into the well himself. But as he climbed down, he slipped. The fall was fatal, leaving the girl alone and trapped at the bottom of the well. Hunger and despair gnawed at her as she awaited what seemed like an inevitable end. Then, one day, she heard noises above. Summoning all her strength, she screamed for help. A man's face appeared at the top, and he threw down a rope. Hope flared as she climbed to freedom. But her relief was short-lived. The man was no savior. He was a ronin, a masterless samurai, and a ruthless one at that. He captured the girl and threw her into a cage alongside other children he had taken. Days blurred together in the cage as despair set in. The ronin and his crew celebrated recklessly, oblivious to the fear and sorrow they caused. But one fateful night, the girl was jolted awake by the clash of swords and the screams of men. Unbeknownst to her, a lone samurai, loyal to his shogun, had crossed paths with the ronin days earlier. Tracking them, he launched a surprise attack on the ronin's camp. In the chaos, the girl screamed for help. Hearing her cry, the samurai fought his way to the cage and, with a swift stroke of his blade, cut the ropes binding it. The samurai freed the children, but his eyes lingered on the girl's wrist. "That bracelet," he said. "You must come with me at once." Though wary, the girl followed him. The journey was long, but the samurai shielded her from harm. Eventually, they arrived at the grand temple of the shogun. Inside, the samurai knelt and recounted his tale. "My shogun, I bring news of battles fought and victories won. But it is this that demands your attention," he said, pointing to the jade bracelet. The shogun rose, his expression one of astonishment. "Child," he said gently, "where did you find this?" The girl, trembling but honest, replied, "In the well at my home." The shogun grew silent, then called for his daughter. "Do you recognize this bracelet?" he asked. The shogun's daughter stepped forward, gasping, "I lost it long ago, near a well." The shogun turned to the girl, his voice kind yet commanding. "May I have the bracelet, child?" Though hesitant, the girl handed it over. The shogun studied her intently, his expression softening. "What of your family?" he asked. She lowered her gaze, silent. But the shogun understood. He declared, "From this day forth, you are part of my family." And so, the girl's life transformed. Under the shogun's care, she found safety, love, and belonging. The fields she once wandered alone were replaced by the warm embrace of a family. At last, she lived happily ever after,